Creed Champions Boxing, or Big Rumble Creed Boxing Champions Boxing, is an arcade-style boxing game with characters from the Creed and Rocky movies. This is Creed Boxing Champions though, so there is a bit more focus on his film. You can tell from the intro music.
Shut up back there, can't you? Change your tune.
But don't worry, there are a few songs from the Rocky films thrown in. And by a few, I mean Eye the Tiger and Gonna Fly Now. No Hearts on Fire, no Easy Way Out, no Burning Heart, no cool training montage song from Rocky IV. Man, Rocky IV had such a good soundtrack. There seems to be a big list of other songs, but you could have fooled me as they all sounded the same, and I believe they're all Creed songs. It also has several characters from the Creed films like this guy, and whoever that is. Anyway, let's move to the meat and potatoes of the game, the boxing. It's very simple. You got your strikes and your more powerful hooks, a quick dodge, a block, a weird grab, and the super punch. Like I said, it's more of an arcade experience, so it's just chucking and diving.
I want you to quit chucking and diving. I want you to stick and move.
Where you'll be doing most of your solo play is in arcade mode, which for the most part feels like a visual novel with fights sprinkled in. Now while this does give the arcade mode more of a story, it's also a step back compared to previous Rocky games. You are no longer in control and can no longer train when you want, instead it's solely when the game decides, as well as seemingly having no option but to run through a whole arcade run in one go. I found no way to save and stop. But don't worry, they're quite short, so it won't really take too long. I timed myself and I would average a bit under an hour for a whole run. The story themselves are interesting little stories, but usually brief with us jumping around to different fights. It does set up the fights in a more interesting way than just picking one in versus mode, but only by the added context, which are probably not even canon, so it's just fluff. Versus mode is exactly what you expect, however you can unlock things here as well by playing and raising this meter. And that's all the modes there is. I mean, I guess there is training, but that's just a dummy standing there as you get accustomed to the controls. There's no way to do the training minigames from the menu, but they also don't seem to matter here as there's no stats to improve, so it's just some training here and there. In the old Rocky games, you could choose the exercises you want to train and boost a certain stat. I, of course, focus on power. Why?
Whatever he hits, he destroys.
I did like the montage type feel here, but it needed more exercises to truly feel like a Rocky montage. The fights themselves, while fun, seem to be streamlined significantly from prior Rocky games. We used to have much more of a presentation, but here's just a little character intro. Small things like the build up to the match, the stats after each round,
Stay sharp and keep focused.
and the lack of a ref
10! It's over!
all take away from the experience and shed a light on the fact that small touches really enhance an experience. Also, can we note how even on a 9 count, they just get up like The Undertaker?
Book approved.
But of course, it's Creed Boxing Champions. So why do I keep comparing this to the Rocky games? Well, because it still hinges on the Rocky franchise. Besides Creed, everyone on the box cover is a Rocky character. And on the back, it talks about the iconic Creed and Rocky montages. First of all, Rocky goes first. But second of all, what iconic Creed montages? Who's out here saying that the Creed montages stack up to the Rocky montages? And that's part of the problem. We have to move away from Rocky because they're trying to pass the torch, but the torch slipped and is now half lit. The Creed series needs the Rocky series not only for it to have come into existence, but it still needs the characters from the old series as they are the iconic ones because we don't have any characters from the Creed series that have become iconic. And that's frustrating. Victor Drago was a good step in the right direction, even though, again, it's drawing from the Rocky legacy and his dad Ivan Drago. But at least we saw some character that has so much potential and was memorable. But then you screwed him at the end with Adonis's plot armor, and now the series might be moving on from him while his story had only just begun. And that's a shame since there was so much potential in this game that just gives us a good gameplay loop, but with nothing around it to motivate us to keep going, which is strange since Rocky was so good at motivation.
Well, Rocky, how do you expect to fight Apollo Creed?
Well, geez, Creed's the best. I guess I'll have to do the best I can.